Welcome back to Conservative Conversations. I'm your host, Reid,
And I'm Frank.
and today we're going to be talking all about the recently discovered Biden documents, classified documents in his home. And it's a big story in this past couple weeks. That's all everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's blown up everywhere, but, it's not just in his home
Right,
that
that's
they
true.
found the documents. And, I just wanted to start the whole thing by saying, once again, and I mean, we've said it before on this channel in regards to other things, but it's so ironic that the Democrats, prosecuted Trump so hard or whatever, went after Trump so hard for those documents in his home. And then look here, at their president, the Democratic president, he's found with documents all over the place. Like I
Right.
said, it wasn't just in his home. It was like in his home, in his garage, and I don't know if it was a garage in the same house where the other document was found.
Right.
I'm not sure about that. And then one was in one of his offices at like some university building or something like
Right.
that.
And I also heard of like one of his beach houses in Massachusetts. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's got like two homes there. Not Massachusetts, sorry, Delaware.
Right. One was at his home in Delaware. One might have been at a separate home within the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And then one was at this like office complex or whatever.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, well, and if you know the thing about Trump, because that blew up in the news for quite a while.
Right, yep.
But the thing about Trump, I mean, the biggest thing, first of all, is that the documents, the fact that they were there and which documents were there, had already been disclosed to the National Archives, and they had been having this sort of protracted back and forth about when the documents were going to be returned.
Mm-hmm, yep.
That was one of the biggest things at issue there. And the other thing is that at Mar-a-Lago, the documents were kept under lock and key and under 24-hour surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's different than, just lying around some office building or in a garage next to your
Corvette
or whatever. I mean, it's a little different. And so, it was so bad that Attorney General of ours that I'm not too fond of, Merrick Garland, he sort of had to get involved,
Well, yeah, because they'd look completely silly if he didn't, because they're...
Well, it had
it's the
looked
same
silly
thing.
already. There were
Right.
already calls saying, oh, you're not going to prosecute Biden for the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was found at a second location.
Right.
These documents were found. Nothing from Merrick Garland. Crickets.
Yep.
Cricket. Then it's found at a third place, and he goes, oh, my goodness. This is like whack-a-mole. I got to do something.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely... I don't think it's a big shock, really, that Joe Biden would have documents on his property, too. And I also, if we found out that even going back to, Bush, if we found out he still got documents at his home, I still wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I think part of it has to do with, Biden's in office, so it affects the current, political cycle and political news. Because what would be the real big scandal if, using Bush again as the example, if he had documents found at his house? It wouldn't really be. But since this has an effect on 2024, and same with Trump, they were hoping with him finding the documents and making a big stink about it and prosecuting him for it would hopefully prevent him from being able to run, or at least damage his chances. So I think that's partly why both stories have been kind of a big issue and been in the news so much.
Well, it's super interesting, especially in this hyper-partisan world that we live in. I mean,
Right.
I feel like ever since the Clinton impeachment, it's just been this big back and forth, tit for
Right.
tat kind of thing. And here it is once again where, they went after Trump.
Mm-hmm.
They made him the first president in history to ever be impeached twice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the first president in history to have his home raided by the FBI.
Right.
I mean, they just keep breaking precedents. But then here, one of the things that they're trying to get him for, to make him ineligible to run or whatever, their boy Biden's found to be
Right.
doing the same thing.
Yep.
And so, you know, at first they're not going to do anything. It's like I say, it's like first strike,
Right.
no big deal. Second strike, we didn't see nothing
Uh-huh.
here. Third strike, okay, we got to figure this out. Okay, we got to do something here now. So we're going to pretend I'm going to start this little, that's part of the news, isn't it? I'm going to appoint this special counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guy's name, to investigate this
Right.
to nowhere. That's going to drag on
Yeah,
for a
because
year and a
they're
half.
not gonna. Nobody's gonna be prosecuted because it would. There's no way Merrick Garland's gonna
Prosecute the sitting president?
Right. Yeah, and
Right.
if he's not gonna prosecute the sitting president for this crime, if you will,
Right.
they can't do it to Trump either.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't. I'm sure they could try, but yeah, definitely they shouldn't.
But it's
'Cause
just crazy. I mean, they already have egg on their face.
Yeah,
And then to turn
Definitely.
around. But see, that's what I'm saying. They'll just kick the can down the road.
Right,
They
yep.
need it to go for about a year and a half, maybe
Mhm.
2 years. And, you know, they won't want to say anything in a political race.
right. Yep.
So they'll wait to drop anything until afterwards.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I mean, it's all just crooked. And the
Yeah.
fact that they've done this doesn't mean squat. He'll probably never be charged. But even if
Right.
he is charged, it'll be so after the fact
Mm-hmm.
that it won't matter. I mean, the guy might be, pushing up daisies by
Right.
then. Not that I wish any such thing upon him.
Of
but
course. Yes, I mean, I ultimately don't feel like it's that big of a deal. I mean,
No, but they just expose themselves as
Right,
hypocrites again, like I said
exactly.
at the beginning. I mean, because
Right.
cringe Jean Pierre is out there every day, still just saying. I mean, she basically refuses to answer the press pool's questions.
yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that he's mishandled these private papers or whatever, these confidential papers.
Right.
And she and Biden just keep repeating the same line that Biden takes the handling of classified documents very seriously.
Well, not.
I mean,
apparently not.
They literally get out there and just keep repeating the same line.
Right. Well, they have nothing else to say.
This is like days later, third incident. Now
Right.
it's been found. Wait, now there's a new one. He was just at the
Right.
McDonald's and left unclassified documents laying there by the beverage fountain, okay? So, I mean, this stuff's obvious, and they just say, but he takes it very seriously. It
Uh-huh.
almost reminds me of that South Park episode where the big oil company keeps saying, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry. And then they'll create some big environmental disaster, and they just get a commercial on
Yep.
TV and say, we're so sorry. We're sorry. That's what it's like. So anyway, I mean, that's basically what I have is that, they basically all just look like bumbling idiots
Right.
once again.
Yep.
And that both their actions and inactions, as well as their attitudes, help to further expose the two-tier justice system we have in this country.
Right.
Like I was saying, this goes back to a certain point. Well, the whole Comey thing, he came out ahead of that cycle and said something about Hillary. And
Right.
that just, there needed to be blood for that.
Right.
And I think that's what we've kind of seen. I mean, they went after Trump like they were looking for blood, and they won't do it to their own.
Right. Well, and it's not just two-tiered by like the political party. It's if you and I were caught with these documents, there'd be no question that
Be
we.
straight to the gulags.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But these are big political people, and they gotta protect themselves. So
That's right.
nobody's gonna get nobody's gonna get the actual justice that's deserved for these situations.
I don't, and yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe we should just leave it there because I could go on about that, about how much justice is deserved up there, but
Sure. Yeah.
I'll probably never see it.
But no, I don't think much will come of it, as you were talking about. It'll basically be swept under the rug for the next year and a half, 2 years. And then they'll finally say something about it, but then it's going to be too late.
Yep.
And it is what it is. It's hopefully we
shame,
move on. Well, it certainly
what
is.
it
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It is a shame. I mean, because, you shouldn't expect anything more from politicians, but I think one of the things we pointed out before is, like, especially with the Democrat Party as of lately, they're just so hypocritical. They're always shouting about, the stuff Republicans are doing, and then we find out they're doing it too. Oh, but that's not a problem, though.
Yeah. It is just crazy, especially since he's the sitting president, though.
Right.
I mean, because the Trump thing just happened not that long ago.
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
So, I mean, there's literally quips of Biden saying, well, I think he should be prosecuted to the nth degree.
Right.
We should.
Yep.
I don't have exact quotes here in front of me, but,
Right.
he's on 60 Minutes being interviewed saying exactly what should happen to Trump and how he should be fined and punished and all this stuff. And guess what he's got in his garage? Just
Right
in regular
next to his
egg crate
Corvette.
boxes. Just, presidential papers.
Yep.
Don't look over here.
Not confidential is what the
No.
box probably says.
I mean, that's just another time. I mean, I get what you're saying. All the politicians are not really worth that much and everything. And
Right.
they can't really be trusted and yada, yada. But it's just crazy to see somebody. I'm glad you said 6 months. In a 6-month span, say one thing. I think the guy should be locked up for it. And then turn around and he's caught doing the same exact thing.
Right. Well, I mean, this is another part of the story. It wasn't even a whole 6 months, because the first set of documents in that office were found back in November, a few days before the election. But we didn't hear a peep about it
I'm
until the
sure.
other week.
They can. It's like an unwritten rule. They don't follow any rules, but they won't say anything during a political cycle. But there's always political.
Yeah, it's always going on.
I know, it's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. They're all just corrupt, and they're making it plain.
Right, exactly. Well, folks, I think we'll leave it there with that. Let us know what you think about this classified document scandal found in the home and offices of Joe Biden.
Yeah, and tell me what you think about Merrick Garland.
Yeah.
Because it's my personal opinion that dog won't hunt.
No.
He's got no teeth. Whatever he's doing doesn't mean anything. Tell me what you think.
And this is a YouTube exclusive audio, so be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below, and ring that bell, as they say, for what was it? Notifications on future videos.
So you never miss another future video.
That's right.
And you can always go and check us out and find our whole body of other content on other platforms.
That's right. And you can visit our website, contemporaryconservative.net.
And as always, thanks for listening.